Do you tend to take things personally, especially in dating? Well, it's important to develop a thicker skin, especially if you're dating online, or you're going to soon burn out, or you might question your own self-worth. And I don't want you to do that. It is hard to stay positive with all that goes on in the dating world, like ghosting or breadcrumbing or sexual comments and comments that are not kind or just plain boring messages. The key to developing a thicker skin is to not take anything personally. It's about having the ability to bounce back and let whatever happens just roll off your back. Even the most sensitive person can do this. I'm going to share 5 valuable tips for developing a thicker skin, especially in dating. Number 1, develop a thicker skin by separating fact from story. When somebody we're dating says or does something that hurts, we often make up a story about why they did that. It's important to realize that the thoughts in our head are assumptions. They're not necessarily true. We don't know why that person ghosted us or rejected us. The stories we make are probably not true. So how can we stop the self-doubt? Well, instead of asking, why did they do that? I want you to ask higher level questions like, why would I want to date someone who would do that? Number 2, the way to stop taking things personally is to know that rejection is not personal if they don't know you. If someone doesn't want to date you or disappears suddenly without warning, is your first thought, what did I do wrong? There are many other ways to look at what we call rejection that are going to help you develop a thicker skin. Here are 2 things to consider. Number 1, if they never met you, they can't reject you because they don't know you. And number 2, look for contrary evidence about why this might have happened, and you'll soon realize it's probably not about you at all. Contrary evidence might be, maybe they're dating somebody else. Maybe they have a fear of intimacy. Who knows? Who cares? Move on. Number 3, to stop taking things personally and develop a thicker skin, remember your worth. Somebody's behavior does not determine your worth. And while you can't control the behavior of other people, even though you want to, there are several things you can do differently next time that might prevent you from getting rejected, ghosted, or taking it so hard. Number 1, build trust more slowly. Most people just jump in and then they don't really know a person. Number 2, if you tend to have sex early on, wait until you see consistent interest. You'll be able to think more rationally instead of letting your hormones take over and ignore all those red flags that are waving in your face. And number 3, don't share your vulnerabilities so quickly. People have to earn the deeper stories that you have, so reveal them slowly when trust is built. Number 4, the way to stop taking things so personally and develop a thicker skin is to discover the deeper reasons for why it hurts so much. Sometimes the reason somebody's comments hurt or a situation seems unbearable is because it reminds us of a deeper wound from our past. For example, if you were criticized by your mother as a child, you're probably very sensitive to any perceived criticism. Or if your father left when you were a child, you probably have an abandonment wound, believing that everybody's going to leave you. We're not even conscious of these things usually, but we sort of have these triggers that keep popping up. And when you identify that original childhood wound, you can distinguish between then and now and see it's a different scene with different people. That's going to help take away some of the pain. Number 5, the way to stop taking things personally and develop a thicker skin is to remember a time when you had thicker skin. When you take something personally, try to remember the past, when you had victories, when you were tougher, or you overcame adversity. Journal about a time when you did something challenging and overcame the challenge, a time when you stood up to somebody who criticized you. Keep birthday cards and positive feedback from friends or colleagues to remind you of how awesome and capable you are. I have a little box that I used to keep all the little cards that people would send me. And whenever I would be down, I would just pull them out and remind myself that people like me for who I am. It also helps to look at a photo of yourself and your loved ones to remind you of how loved you are. While you can't always avoid heartbreak and rejection, if your emotional skin is thick enough to handle it, it's going to be far less painful. Work at developing a thicker skin every day. It's a practice. And if you encounter someone who doesn't like you as much as you like them, you'll be able to get back to center much quicker and move on. And if you are feeling stuck in dating and relationships and would like to finally find your match, I invite you to apply for complimentary 45-minute love breakthrough sessions with me at lastfirstdate.com/application. I look forward to talking to you soon.